Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and this video is all about those guys you see behind me. Slimes, slime chunks, where to find them, and how to get slime balls. Now, let's head up to the surface to start, and you can check the description for specific timestamps to jump into the various different parts of this video. And let's start with the basic facts about slimes here on the surface. And if you want to find slime chunks, you have a cheaty answer. You can go to chunkbase.com, this website right here, and enter the seed of your world and the version if needed. You do need to know the seed or else it can't help you. Enter the coordinates of where you're looking to play and find that slime chunk, and then you do want to test just to make sure it's accurate, and you also need to know the chunks generated, which version they generated in. Now, as far as the slime chunks, slimes will spawn from Y level 0 to 39. They will spawn in any light level, and each chunk has a 1 in 10 chance of being a slime chunk. However, there are no slime chunks in Mushroom Island biomes because hostile mobs will not spawn there. As for the surface area for the slimes, you will find them in a swamp at night, and they spawn between Y levels 51 and 69, but they do need a light level of 7 or less. They will spawn more frequently in a full moon, and not spawn at all in a new moon. And if you didn't know that the moon had phases, I will show you what that looks like. And as some bonus facts, baby pandas can sneeze slime balls, and you can also buy them from the Wandering Trader. Keep in mind, as far as the baby pandas go, this is an extraordinarily rare event. Only the babies can sneeze slime balls. When they sneeze, they usually don't have slime balls. It's something less than a 1% chance. So it's not really a great way to get them unless you are desperate. And it looks like we have a Wandering Trader. So sometimes their trades will include slime balls, which is just something for you to know. Now we are in a slime biome, so you can see when I turn this to night, we should get some slime spawns. This particular structure you're looking at is just a copy of the How to Find Enderman video that I did, which works by resetting the hostile mobs by taking you 128 blocks in the air. So why don't we set the time to midnight. And that is a full moon, so we should have more slimes than normal spawning. Now, this is not a very safe way to get slime balls, obviously, because there are a lot of hostile mobs here, and if you light up the area, then you won't be able to see any of the slimes because they won't spawn anyways. So if you just need a few slime balls, you can strap on some armor. You do want to make sure you have a looting sword. Only the babies drop any slime balls, and they drop from 0 to 2, but there's an extra 1 per level of looting, so a baby can drop up to 5 if you hit it with a looting 3 sword. And as you kill the slimes, you will see that they split into smaller slimes. These are now the medium ones, and the babies. And if you find one big slime, you can usually walk away with a whole chunk of slime balls because they split up into a lot of little ones. This would be easier if I was on the ground and not floating in the air. And one big one, and I got 17 slime balls. Now, as far as the different phases of the moon, we can jump ahead by 1 day. And you can see how the moon will change phases. And that is a new moon. So if we reset all the hostile mobs by jumping into this to shoot up really fast, when we come back down and all new hostile mobs are going to spawn, we should not see any slimes. So we can see hostile mobs spawning, but no slimes. And if we move the day forward again and we reset it, and in fact, why don't we go all the way to a full moon? When we drop back down, we should see instantly a whole bunch of slimes. So now, if you only need a couple of slime balls, this is something that you can do. If you need a lot of slime balls to make slime blocks and a lot of sticky pistons, you are going to want to find a slime chunk to set up a dedicated farm. So the way you want to do that is by digging. And as long as you're going to dig, you might as well dig down on Y11 or Y12 so you can get diamonds as you dig. Now let's set the time back to noon, and the reason you want to do that is because this is more effective during the day, because during the day, if I can just jump back up, when you have full sunlight, the hostile mobs will burn. Obviously not all of them, but the less hostile mobs taking up the mob cap, the better, in order for these slimes to be able to spawn. So let's drop down again. Now you want to dig a nice flat area is my preferred method. Now this is 4 blocks high. I did that just so I can fly around. You're going to want to dig 3 blocks high, and that's to make sure that these large slimes can spawn. Depending on your difficulty setting, these slimes are either a third or half of all these slime spawn attempts. So if you only went up 2 blocks, you would miss out on all of these attempts in order to find your slimes. Now you want to check which chunk you're in by pressing F3 and G, and as you dig, you light up the area because slimes can still spawn, and then you put some fences down in order to block off the area, so when the slimes do spawn, you can see which chunk they're in, and when you see that chunk, you can put down a little marker. I put down a slime block. You can do whatever you want, and the way you want to do this is honestly a little bit haphazard because it's a 1 in 10 chance in order to find one of these. It's best if you have a beacon with haste 2 on it, so that is a full beacon, and then you have an efficiency 5 axe, and that's because you can insta-mine. And you can actually dig faster in survival than creative through insta-mining. And then just tear up the area. You can keep all the drops if you want, put them in a chest somewhere. And of course, you want to light it up because you don't want any of the other mobs to spawn. And then put fence down as you go in order to make sure that you can see if anything spawns in there, which chunk it is from. And you've found your slime chunk. Now this is actually 5x5 area that I've dug out, and there's only 1 slime chunk in here. A 1 in 10 chance doesn't mean you will find one every 10 chunks. It is still just a chance. So you do want to keep digging until you find one. Do keep in mind that mobs won't spawn within 24 blocks, so you do want to move around a bit and stay away to see if anything does spawn. Sometimes it takes a little while. You want to wait a couple of minutes before you head over, and you also want to make sure to light up the caves around where you're digging, because other hostile mobs in other caves will block the spawn attempts once you fill up your mob cap. And I spent a little more time than I should have wandering around this world and just dropping lava everywhere, which was my preferred method of lighting up as long as I was going to be in creative mode. So with less other hostile mobs, you have more of a chance of your slimes to spawn. And then, as I said, mark your area, and then you can start building your slime farm in that slime chunk. Now, just for fun, I do have some panda eggs in my inventory to see if we can get a panda to sneeze for us. So, made a little pen out in this area. Also keep in mind with your instant mining, you can have either fortune or silk touch on them. That doesn't matter as long as it is efficiency 5. Now you should know that the weak pandas, which are these, if they'll look at me, the ones that look like they have snot in their nose, do have a higher chance of sneezing a slime ball, but higher does not mean a good chance. So let's see how many entities we have right now. And I'm just going to spam as many of these guys as I can get in. And you can see when they sneeze, the adults do jump, but no slime balls. Not yet, at least. And we have an absurd number of pandas. So we have about 150 pandas in this little pen right now. And they're sneezing all the time. The adults are jumping up and down. But no slime balls. Even a lot of these weak guys. Come on. No? More? Let's get even more. And now we have almost 200. And the frame rates are starting to feel it. And keep in mind, once the babies grow up, they no longer even have a chance to sneeze out a slime ball for you. So you have to be pretty desperate or very committed to playing in peaceful mode and very against trading with the wandering trader in order to resort to getting your slime balls from these pandas. Come on. Thought I had crashed the game with baby pandas there for a second. And let's just see if they're hidden. Nope. Still have 17 slime balls in the inventory. At this point, I feel kind of pot committed to making sure that you guys can see that we get a slime ball from these sneezing guys. Constant sneezing. No slime balls. I believe the odds of actually having a panda sneeze a slime ball are less than 1%. I think it's less than 1 in 500, actually. So, more pandas. I see a slime ball. There we go. Like I said, you'd have to be pretty desperate to go that route. You're much better off heading to the swamp, just making sure the moon is in the right cycle, and murdering a couple of the big slimes in order to get what you need. But for any real industrial uses, to get a lot of slime balls for your slime blocks and your sticky pistons, you are going to want to find a slime chunk and set up a proper slime farm. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate a like, and for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for stopping by.